washed away my sins. You washed away my sins.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. Happy Black History Month. As democracy continues to crumble. I'm sorry. It's there's nothing funny about it at all. But but we are. Hopefully you are staying safe. Hopefully you're doing well through all of this insanity. Yeah, Hunter. Hi, hello, world. I'm joined, of course, by two of my favorite people. A man who's always invited to the cookout, Canada's favorite son, Bradley. Bradley, how are you?
Good, thank you. And congrats to your country for keeping Black History Month. I was so worried that that thered be a declaration or an executive order throwing it out, but level heads prevailed, and that's a good thing. I mean, really loving this push from educators in the world, not just in the U.S., saying we need Black History Month. Because until everyone realized that it's U.S. history, that it's world history, that it's history, then it can't be something that's pushed to the side. And that's been really cool to see.
The one thing I will say with all of this insanity from, our asshole in chief is it's actually been really good seeing, which the news isn't covering because of course we're not, but seeing actual protests all over the world and like across every state, people being like, nah, this is bullshit. It actually gives me hope, which is nice, to be honest, because right now we really need it. So that was actually something that felt good. So I do have to say that. So to those of you who are protesting, please be safe out there, and please be safe out there. And of course, my brother from another mother got Brandon. Brandon, how are you, sir? He might be frozen
because it's February and a frozen snow tundra of death out there.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm looking at just outside, and I know it's Canada, and everyone thinks that's what Canada's like, but it is not supposed to be this cold and this snowy in Canada right now, and it is. Look at me. How many times have I come on with my regular hoodie on your podcast just this week? This is like a regular look for me now.
Yeah, Brandon will be back in a second, y'all. We're at 30 degrees here right now, but it's that wind chill, man. That wind chill is what gets you. So like I went for I've been trying to get back on my daily walk, so I went on like a 45 yesterday. I'll probably do maybe like a 20-30 today, but yeah, it's fucking cold, man. Like I ran the recycling out this morning, and I was just like, oh, don't like that. So we'll be bundling up this weekend, and luckily we got all the supplies we need for the Super Bowl. Oh
right, yeah, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so let's talk about it real quick. So like,
okay.
Chiefs. Yeah. So the Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on the referees and the Kansas City Chiefs. So 2-on-1, Phillies against the wall. But
do the Eagles get favorable calls though? I honestly haven't looked into it. I mean, I'd imagine Jalen Hurts is a stud, and so is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
If the NFL is prone to give flags to elite players, I mean, the Eagles should get calls, right? Do I sound crazy right now? Like, I know that no one can be as gorgeous and as talented as Patrick Mahomes, the Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
And, you know, and I don't mean to sound derogatory. Taylor Swift has brought so much income to the NFL, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing or as a conspiracy. It's on paper. She brings the eyes, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't favor that team. Yes, I would. I am saying that actually. I would favor that team. You make sure that team looks great. I would say that to all the refs.
Yeah.
Given the opportunity, if it's one way or the other, you side with the Chiefs because this is a freaking gold. This is Jerry Jones probably goes to sleep tossing and turning like, Dak, please, hey, Taylor Swift, Dak, you know, in a cold sweat, waking up and sobbing because no one on his squad could pull. Okay. This is getting a little bit too personal.
No. So you know what? You're nice to stop short. I don't fucking care, so I'll take it there. The difference between someone like the Chiefs and the Cowboys is the fact that Andy Reid was able to come in and actually instill a culture in Kansas City, where
100%.
Jerry Jones will not allow any coach to do that. Because if I'm running the Cowboys, I'll tell you right now, I would be like, hey, I'll give you guys 2 second-round picks, maybe 3 even. Give us Mike Tomlin. Because Mike Tomlin's a guy who would instill a culture in Dallas. And actually,
100%.
And a guy
so
who would
exciting.
And he would actually be fun to see with Dak. Because I think Dak actually needs a coach to be like, dude, you're throwing too many fucking picks. We need to work on your mechanics a little bit. I think he really needs someone
a coach with some kind of a game plan.
Yeah.
And not a figurehead that was because you know that whatever coach he installs, man, and everyone listening, I'm not shitting on the Cowboys. I've been a Cowboys fan since Emmitt Smith. You know, I would watch Emmitt Smith run and be like, wow, that guy's so tough. I want to be tough, you know. And then, you know, the joke is when you're a little boy, you pick your favorite football team and then you ride or die with that team for the rest of your life. I picked the Cowboys because of Emmitt Smith. Yeah. Anyways, someone who was also a Cowboys fan, shout out, joked I wonder what lame ass red carpet to Jerry Jones' ego and feelings he's going to install as the head coach now. And that's exactly what he's doing. What is it?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Just some. That's embarrassing. Why aren't we getting a real? And I don't mean real coach because
no, you do because he's never been a head coach before, and it's just the thing that was so weird is what Jerry said is he's no longer never been a first time head coach. He's no longer a Schottenheimer. He's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm like, what a weird statement to make. That's it. And
Jerry, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, and the difference, the weird similarity between Jerry Jones and our current president is that they're both senile. That's the only thing that's the only thing that makes sense to me at this point. Because you can't say the type of shit they're saying. And look, are they both incredibly racist men? Yes, absolutely. I think Jerry Jones only owns the Cowboys, so he can trade black people personally. That's a whole other podcast. But it is weird how Jerry Jones talks about how I would do anything I could to win a Super Bowl. It's what about a competent coach? Well, no, not that. It's well, then you don't want to do it everything.
I feel that even a top 15 head coach could look at Dak's talent and the O-line and how the Cowboys keep getting these running backs that land, in such a dominant way. And instead of being well, that pulls money from the quarterback jersey, maybe we should trade the running back. One coach, we just need one coach to be maybe we should build an offense around the running game.
Yeah, it's well, the stat. Oh yeah, Brandon, are you back with us, sir?
He's
Brandon,
mute. Oh, there he
I
goes.
am here. I am here.
perfect. Hi, man. Welcome back. But the weird thing about Jerry Jones is like if what's the stat? Like when the Cowboys run the ball like more than they throw it, you guys are like 25 and like 4 with Dak as a starter. But then when you don't, you're like 2-20. It's like run the ball.
Could you
more.
picture Pete Carroll or the coach before him seeing beast mode run and say, "Nah, I don't like that. Russell should be the face and only Russell."
Yeah, it's a very weird it's like you have these players like, but also, and I'm not giving Dak an out because
Sure,
he should be playing better.
not everybody's good in the clinch, but he's not even given the opportunity to overcome that by running the ball. We'll say,
but also like it's CeeDee Lamb, and that's it. You haven't gotten him a second, like a true wide receiver too. I think Jake Ferguson's actually a really good tight end. I wish he'd throw it to him more. But but I remember you guys gave away Amari Cooper for like a 5th round pick like 5 years ago, and he just went for like a 3rd round pick to Buffalo 5 years later. So it's like, Jerry, it's like, what are you doing? Like it doesn't make sense. And I wish someone would actually have the balls to just look him in the face and be like, dude, you are fucking this up. Like you are fucking up this team. You're burning your goodwill with your fan base, who you're genuinely taking advantage of at this point. So actually, like as much shit as I give Cowboy fans, and admittedly, it is fun because Cowboy fans can be horrendously annoying. Most fan bases can be, to be fair. But but at the same time, it's like Jerry Jones, like, come on, man. But I digress. All right, so before we get into the Falcon and Winter Soldier review, because that is our only review today, you know the drill. We're gonna do Soapbox Corner. I have a soapbox, but I'm going to go ahead and start off with Brandon. Brandon, anything you want to praise, criticize, anything in between?
I'm gonna try to be more positive.
Okay.
So no mean soapbox this week. Adult Swim has a new show called Common Side Effects. The first 2 episodes are out. It is a very great show. If you enjoyed Scavenger's Reign, it's made by the same people who did that, same animators and stuff. And also produced by Mike Judge, who you might know from King of the Hill. Even Hank Hill is a voice on the show, which is great. But yeah, Common Side Effects is a surprisingly relevant Adult Swim show about big pharma. What I thought would be like a stoner comedy is much more of like a thriller, a drug thriller almost.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just really enjoying it so far with those first 2 episodes. Still simultaneously very funny. And yeah, I already like big fan of these creators and these animators, so very much enjoying the show. If you want to give it a chance, definitely check it out. I think episodes come out on Mondays on Max.
Okay.
Next day, but from Adult Swim. But yeah, it's a really good show. Adult Swim has just kind of been killing it lately with like original content. I know Smiling Friends is like the big one right now, but they've been really marketing this and pushing this. I'm like, hell yeah, more animation and different animation for the masses, for the people.
Hell yeah, let's go. Canada, you got anything, sir?
Other than the Super Bowl thing, I mean, unless you're an Eagles or a KC fan, go your squad, root for your squad. That's fun. But a good opportunity for everyone to just kind of enjoy the game outside of cheering for your favorites. Saquon Barkley, I'm sure whatever he does tomorrow, regardless win or lose, will probably put on a huge show and have a tremendous legendary performance. And that'll be fun to, that's just something to celebrate. Because it's been a long time since a running back has made history. I think he's like one of 5 running backs in the literal history all-time NFL that has done certain things this season.
Go for like 2,000 yards, I won't say. It's like him, Adrian Peterson, Damian Tomlinson, Eric Dickerson. I think OJ might have done it. Which you know, ha 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 ha.
Hey, history's history, man.
Yeah, I know. Not the only thing he did, but, yeah, but you know, but
No one talks about how slow that white Bronco was going.
I know he could have outran that.
Based on how ironically fast and elusive he was.
I know. Say what you will about OJ. He was
Is he still alive?
No, he died like last year.
Did he pass away?
Yeah, he like. Hey, you know what? He got away with it, man. He died.
Well, and yeah, say what you will about Dave Chappelle. Honestly, say what you will about him. Who cares?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I always recommend Dave Chappelle's OJ jokes. He has a ton of them throughout his whole career, and they always land. They're always pretty amazing observations and jokes. Anyways, be cool to each other. That's all I want to say. And if you can, I know that everyone's in a rat race right now, and maybe that's the way it's supposed to be as adults. Fully functioning adults are always busy. If you could take like just 5 minutes to yourself, I've been doing that since I was a child. Everyone's been like, how are you so chill? I talked to my sister the other day, and she's like, you've always been a pretty chill person. You've always seemed pretty calm. And I really thought about why. I usually always just take 5 minutes to myself. This is going to sound like an ego thing, and be like, I'm calm, I'm at peace, and I'm kind of great.
Hell yeah.
And
like that SNL sketch. Like, and gosh darn it, people like me. Yeah, that.
yeah. Just 5 minutes. Just anybody listening, just 5 minutes a day, and I think those dividends you earn will help with your confidence, and also with, you know, I just want more people to like themselves, because I like that you're all here. You too. I like that you're here. I like that I'm invited to these things.
Yeah.
And really, more than ever, start appreciating yourselves. And that's my soapbox.
Beautifully said, man.
Fantastic.
So I will give a positive and negative. I will say I watched Craig of the Creek, the movie, which I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
And oh my god, what a fantastic fucking film. Like, I'm gonna have to review that here probably next week. So Brandon, I will probably call you again. That's one of those shows that I watched like the first premiere episode when it came on, and I was like so happy that it got on my radar. I just happened to be flipping through the channels, and I found it naturally, and I was so stoked. I was like, oh my god, what is the show? And I started watching it, and it's been an absolute joy to watch. I haven't finished it yet because to Brandon's point, I'm just not. I've been trying not to cry, y'all.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, I've been trying really hard not to cry. And I will even say, rewatching certain aspects of Falcon the Winter Soldier, I just found myself crying all over again. I was like, oh god damn it. We'll get into that. But watching Craig of the Creek, that's just such a great show. And I am going to, because I want to review it, and Brandon has already got me into it. I am going to finish up Invincible Fight Girl. I am going to finish that up, so that'll be probably next week's binge. But the negative, and I won't spend too long on this, but man, I finished up that Amy Schumer movie this morning, Kind of Pregnant. God damn, I'm amazed at what gets greenlit by Hollywood at this point. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, you read the script and you went, yeah, let's give someone millions of dollars to make this. And I like, so, you know, Bradley was with me, thankfully, last week when I did my worst of, and, you know, like, in case you haven't listened to it, you can check it out on the pod now. Videos up, audio's up as well. But Unfrosted, fucking hated Unfrosted. Literally broke my brain. Like, it was locked in from April. Like, it was one of those movies I saw and I was like, oh, this is number one unless something. And you know what? Credit to God's Not Dead. In God We Trust, it got close. Like it was real close to overtaking it, and I just unfrosted. I just like, nah, I can't. And watching Kind of Pregnant, I'm like, okay, so I will give the quick synopsis. So literally, the synopsis is Amy Schumer has a best friend, Jillian Bell, who you know from 22 Jump Street, Fist Fight, Workaholics. She gets pregnant, and they literally their whole friendship, are a big basis of their friendship is that ever since they were kids, they wanted to be parents. Which I'll be real, it's always something that just has always been kind of weird to me. Like it's in movies, especially when they show like 6-year-olds, like I want to be a mom. Like it's like if you're having that conversation when you're in like high school, like I can wrap my head around that, but just I don't know. That always comes across very creepy and actually quite groomy, honestly. And I don't think movies are called out enough for that. But I digress. So fast forward the present day, and Amy Schumer is dating Damon Wayans Jr. I was so sad to see him in this because I'm such a fan of his. I was like, God damn it, dude! Really, they dragged you in this? Like, is Pop's house not paying well enough? Like, come on, man. So he's like, hey, I want to go ahead and go out to dinner, or like, take you out to dinner. Like, I have something important to talk to you about. And so she does the thing that women and look, I know this will probably sound sexist no matter how I say it. I don't really fucking care. Here's the thing. Women, don't do this. Do not talk yourselves into thinking that someone is going to propose, because if they don't propose, A, your night is fucked, and then B, your relationship might be fucked because you set this expectation that you probably shouldn't have set. And so, of course, he doesn't propose. But this is what's insane. He goes, "Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you. I want to have a threesome with you." He takes her out to this nice dinner to ask her to have a threesome with him. And then on top of that, has the girl who he wants to have a threesome with just show up at the dinner. And I went,
fantastic.
I went, awesome. This is the basis of your film. Amy Schumer co-wrote this, by the way. And so she ends up going with Jillian Bell after she has a huge fucking freak out. She's a high school teacher who teaches Shakespeare, by the way. So try to let your brain accept that shit. So they go to a maternity store, and she finds one of those baby bumps, and she goes ahead and puts it under her shirt. So she steals the baby bump, and then just starts telling people that she's pregnant. That's the concept of the movie. That's it. That is literally the concept of the film. And at the end of the movie, when of course she's found out, everyone forgives her. Everyone forgives her. No, barely any pushback. And I just thought, okay, if someone did that in real, so I have always hated the prank, that the April Fool's Day prank. By the way, don't fucking do this. Of like when women will be like, "Oh, hey, I'm pregnant. Oh, guess what? I was kidding." I've had friends do that. I'm like, if I was your partner, I would have fucking broken up with you. like, why the fuck do you think that's funny? That's not funny at all. It's really quite fucked. Yeah. So, and that's a joke that's, like what, 5 minutes. She does this shit for at least 3 months, pretending she's pregnant.
Yeesh.
And this is in the times that she doesn't have the baby bump, she's randomly grabbing balloons from places. At one point, she grabs a fucking turkey. I'm just like, what are we doing, movie? In the movie, and at the end of the movie, I'm supposed to want her to get with Will Forte, which I don't know how he got tricked into doing this shit. They don't have chemistry. Because I'm just sitting there the whole time thinking, Will Forte, you are way too good for Amy Schumer. Like, way too good for Amy Schumer. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, oh, yeah, like I think you're insane and you probably should be committed. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, you're not wrong. And he goes, but I love the way you look at me and no one's ever made me feel. I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, you're forgiving this bitch. And the movie just goes, yep, they're together. Yay. And I'm just like, why? So it's currently my number one worst stuff. We'll see if anything tops it, but goddamn, Netflix, like, can you like can y'all try? Like, for fuck's sake? Like, yeah. So I'm gonna review it proper at some point, but yeah, don't watch it. There's nothing there for you. There's nothing there for you. And the only reason I'm not yelling is because the last time Canada will tell you last time I went off the handle, I lost my voice for a fucking week. So I'm trying really hard.
Pretty epic though. That was a pretty epic rant.
Thank you, but I'm trying really hard to conserve my voice. But yeah, it God help me. Anyways, so all right, soapbox is done. Let's talk about something good. Let's talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which came out 4 years ago. That's so crazy. It's been 4 years since that's come out. So yeah, we're finally getting a new Captain America, which comes out next week with Captain America: Brave New World. I'm probably not going to get a chance to see it until the 17th. So I will be off the internet.
Spoilers are going to be terrible.
Yeah, because spoilers will be terrible, and fuck that. I'm not having anything spoiled.
Maybe it won't be a film that really has spoilers. You know, not everything. Like a lot of these Marvel films don't necessarily have a twist, right?
I mean, true. My big concern is that I don't want the mid-credit or post-credits being spoiled for me.
Oh, right.
Because
that's kind of those are always kind of surprising.
Because talking to the director, he was really saying like this kind of fast tracks us heading to the next Avengers film. And he like the way he said it, I'm like, okay, I feel like you're probably dropping some X-Men shit. There might be. I'm just like, so I'm being very cautious about potentially seeing shit. So I'm a little concerned, but my superpower is avoiding spoilers. So I'm gonna.
No, I think that's a good idea then to go completely. Luckily I've missed. I think there was 2 new trailer drops. I don't know if they have much new information in them, but I haven't seen either of them.
So I would like to give myself a pat on the back. I call that adamantium shit. I call that the trailer, y'all. I told you that was going to be.
Did the
shit.
word adamantium get revealed?
It did get dropped. It did.
So is the rights, and we don't have to talk about backdoor politics,
you're good.
Right? But are the rights actually in Disney's hands now? Because they were being wishy-washy on what year. After Deadpool and Wolverine, I assumed, all right, everything's settled. But then I heard whisperings of not everything. You know how these lawyers get.
Yeah, so they can use that term because that is apparently tied to Wolverine, and they own the X-Men now. So they can actually use that term. So I was stoked. I was stoked to be right about that. As I often am, but I told y'all that was it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they flesh that out. But getting the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this was the first Disney Plus show after they really launched Disney Plus. It was the first Marvel Disney Plus show. And
was this first before WandaVision?
This was before WandaVision. Yeah, okay. This was the first one. So laying everything out, we pick up after Endgame, where in a moment that genuinely made me weep in theaters. Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, as Canada would say, thank God for Marvel. Which man, Chris Evans, dude, you got to get a new agent, homie, because God damn, you are swinging and missing, man. Like between
but
Ghost
him and The Rock saved Amazon during the holiday season. Haven't you heard? You heard that?
Because between Ghosted and Red One, man, he is on a. I feel like there's another movie in between there. Was there something else that I'm blanking on?
I don't know.
But maybe. Yeah, Chris Evans has been on the very bad streak. Oh, The Gray Man, that's right. Yeah,
there you go.
I didn't see that one at all, but
I stopped watching that one in the middle. I was like, I had enough.
Whoa! Yeah. Part of my reaction, audience, Brandon doesn't stop watching films.
He does not.
That's a rare thing.
I think I was falling asleep too. I was like, yeah, it's time to stop.
I only so let me just read off Evan's last 1, 2, 3, 4 last couple films. So Lightyear, not great.
Okay,
Not
it's mid.
It's mid. Shout out to Socks though. Socks is the homie, man. Like give me. I've been saying give me some Sock shorts, man. Like Socks is the best character in that fucking movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lightyear, the Gray Man, Ghosted, Pain Hustlers, Red One. That is a rough stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if those rumors about him being like evil Cap, that makes a ton of sense, man. Because dude, you are yeah, new agent. But Steve Rogers went ahead and decided that, you know, while I'm returning these Infinity Stones, oh hey, look at hot Haley Atwell, I will actually go back and live a life with her. Cannot blame him at all, because God, woman is so fine. But but maybe in my favorite moment in the film, he comes back with the shield and is like, hey, try this on. And Alea would tell you, I was sitting in the theater and I was like, oh, like I literally did the heavy, like, oh my God, he's giving him the shield. And, you know, the whole moment of, you know, this feels like it belongs to someone else. And, you know, it doesn't. And it's like, oh my God, he's getting the shield. Yeah, wept like a motherfucker, cried, cheered. And then you get the Captain America music playing just to, you know, reaffirm that, you know, this is what's coming. And so then, you know, we start off with Falcon the Winter Soldier, and Sam is over it. You know, Sam's over it. He goes ahead and he's like, I need to go ahead and give the shield up. Which is sad. It's a really sad moment in the way that he really does feel like he doesn't deserve the shield. And Canda's got to make a quick exit, so I will throw it to you real quick, sir. Give me some of your thoughts on the show.
Well, I didn't watch it during its initial run. Doggett and you, I think it was you, kind of guilted me into it.
Oh, we guilted you hardcore. Yeah, we were like, dude, come on, man.
Like, I saw the GIFs and the memes, and that's all I would ever talk about. And I think Doggett one day was like, have you even seen this at all? And I was like, no, because I'm not a good liar. So I had to straight up be like, no, I haven't.
Yeah, you're not.
And you both were like, what? But you'd actually like this. And I'm like, but I shit on things. I don't like them.
True.
And you both were like, no. This one you'll like. This one you'll like. You're a Danny Brawl fan. You're the only guy that talks about Rush. You'll like it. I'm like,
dude,
okay.
I love Rush so much. That movie rules. So I love that goddamn movie.
So if I had to say one thing, this show, and no one ever talks about this, I want to talk about the symbolism, the allegory. Steve Rogers, he isn't a goon or a stooge or a employee of America. In The Greatest Generation, which he's from, he wasn't sold the American ideal. He lived it. Little scrawny, sad sack looking kid with a best friend. And his best friend, let's not overlook that. Bucky always saw the Steve Rogers that he turns into in that little kid.
Did. Yep.
And that ideal is what Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, is living. When he passes the shield, which is a symbol, everybody, let's not get too precious about it, but that's a symbol. And when Steve says, hey, this is the American dream. This is everybody helps out. We all love and live in a community that we stand proudly in front of and say, this is our home and we'll defend it with this shield. Get it? We defend each other and we lift each other up. Because I'm fucking Steve Rogers. And truth, justice, beauty is for everybody. And when Anthony Mackie, who I'm sure should be an Oscar nominee by now, by the way, looks at that shield and says, this belongs to someone else. And Steve Rogers is like, no, it doesn't. Like, please, for the love of God, recognize that Anthony Mackie is saying, I'm a black man from, where is Sam from?
Louisiana. Yeah.
America literally has said, you don't belong here throughout the entirety of its history. And Steve Rogers, Mr. American Ideal, possibly naively, but this is a symbolism, mind you, is saying, no, it doesn't belong to someone else. It belongs to all of us. And this series is essentially a reconciliation through Washington, that character as well, through the industrial military complex being like, well, who's a psycho we can give this ideal to? Who literally uses that shield to murder a pleading man.
Yeah.
You know, that symbolism. Blood on the shield isn't supposed to make you feel like, well, I don't think he did anything wrong. No, he's that symbolism is like when the industrial military and privatized action of murder and might makes right is in charge, people die. People who are pleading, please don't hurt me, are killed. And Anthony Mackie as Steve Rogers or as Captain America, holding the ideals of America and taking flight with it. This is all like symbolism, everybody, and choosing to help people with it. Because he could have easily, I know people are like, well, you're not even a super soldier. Dude, he could have easily tackled that flag smasher and bashed your head in. Nope. If you want that, please find empathy. To be a beacon of light and hope for other people, and for the film to tie into that, where he's like, we're going to lose the boat, we're going to lose everything to this bank. The bank, again, another corporation, another bucks make things right, looks at this literal veteran, this literal Avengers, and goes, that's not our thing. You're not a person to us. But can we get your autograph? Like, there's so much going on. I'm even tripping over all of it myself in my rant here.
No, you're good, man.
It's the people that come together and help each other. His own community shows up, not because he's an Avenger or a veteran, but because they're like, oh, Sam, I know his parents. We've lived here. We've been generations in this town. I know his sister. I know his family. And he's our family too because of that. That's the America that Steve Rogers sees in it and sees in Sam. That's the one where he's like, no, that dream doesn't belong to anyone else. You're living that dream, regardless of people in suits saying, like, he can't be Captain America. He's not what we're looking for. That psychopath who will crush a man's skull in as he pleads for his life. That's what we want. Just don't catch it on camera. And I feel like people don't realize that enough. They're not mad that he murdered that guy. They're mad that people saw what they wanted in broad daylight. You know? And Wyatt Russell is great in the role of U.S. agent. I think he's going to be fantastic in Thunderbolts. The U.S. agent is very much a complex character. He's not Steve Rogers. He's all like, well, I can kill someone right now. Who do you want me to kill? I'll do it. That's not the empathy. That's not the light on the hill that says, bring me your sick, bring me your poor, you belong here, and we want you here to make our community together. He said, invited to the cookout. Oh my gosh, the fact that a guy who has the shield right now wants to invite people to the cookout and say, you are safe and at peace here. It used to be the American way, but now I get it. It's not. Currently, it's not. But there isn't anyone else we should want to have this shield. And all that it symbolizes than Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson. And that's what he saw in it. Sebastian Stan in this, just to close off, because I'm still me, didn't really like his arc. I think based on what I've seen Sebastian Stan in, he would have done amazing work with a dialogue between him and an old Asian man who he's wronged. But I think the show kind of just brushes over it too fast, and that upset me. Sharon Carter, guys, y'all elected someone who sold secrets to Russia. I mean, are we really going to be mad at her?
It's so fascinating, and I'll let you guys make this point. That's the most realistic thing about this show is like when she goes like how the show ends, and it like I kind of love that it ends on that downer where you're kind of like, oh shit, but then you think about like the Bush administration and like really even the Clinton administration, how many times we were like, oh hey, like oil, oh let's give you this off the book, like the amount of times that happened. Yeah, it's like
so to close my rant. Sam Wilson is the American dream because he understands it's not the handlers or the suits or the banks or the military industrial complex. I know I like saying that are America. It's your neighbor. It's your friend. It's Bucky. It's, you know what? It's even Sharon who got screwed over and is just trying to survive.
And she did. Like, to
Yeah,
be fair,
big time.
through no fault of Sam's. Like, that's what's so unfair is, and, like, yeah, he got
so many people overlook when they find Wyatt. Sorry, I forget his character's name.
John Walker. Yeah, John Walker.
When him and Bucky find him, Bucky's ready to go. Like, let's beat the shit out of this guy. We have cause now. But it's Sam that's all like, okay, let's de-escalate. Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Why don't you come with us? We'll get you the help you need. He's even looking down the road for this man. He sees a pain in this guy that the military industrial complex, take a drink, not only ignored, they're all like, let's exploit this guy's, you know, and that's where Mackie and Russell really share, frankly, a beautiful, vulnerable performance. For Mackie to look at John Walker as someone who's hurt and has been ignored is so beautiful. And whatever it is, y'all need to get over. And I'm sorry to address like the haters and not the fans.
No, go ahead.
That is very much a Sam Wilson and a Captain America trait to want to help people. It's about helping people. So I hope Brave New World hits it out of the park. Just got some personal work endeavors. I don't know why you keep inviting me on the show. It's so nice of you.
No, dude,
like,
no.
Pull the parachute so often.
I'm happy to get any time with you, man. So go take care of what you need to take care of. But thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate you.
All right, I'll listen to the rest of this later. Have a great day. Always good to see you too, Brandon.
Likewise. Yeah. Brandon, we'll nice Marvel shirt, by the way. So I'll just take it from there. I think Wyatt Russell. So I've been trying to write longer reviews, like on Letterboxd, not just do like a paragraph. I'm starting to get more into like writing almost like an essay, like a short essay on some of these. And the thing I love about Wyatt Russell, I haven't seen Night Swim yet, because Nick I know hates that shit. But between this and Overlord and Everybody Wants Some and 22 Jump Street and even
on the Monarch show,
Monarch show, yeah, which I still need to finish, but I got like halfway through. He's an amazing fucking actor. And the fact that doing some research on this, like reading up on why he wanted to do this, he said he knew people would hate him and people would hate his performance. And he's like, I read the script and he's like, I was like, let's go. Like, this is something more. So he knew the smoke he was going to get. And I got to give him props for being willing to go there. Cause there are some point, like, it's so interesting. And I really am happy that you're on, so we can have these more Negro-rific conversations. So at the end of the first episode, that's exactly how the government would play it. Number one, that's exactly what they would do. Because the moment he gave the shield back, and I do love the fact that he has, like, I wish he was in the show. Like, maybe if I got another scene or two of him, but I love Don Cheadle showing up as Rhodey, because that's a man who's really dedicated his life to the military and to the government, and I love how they're standing by the Steve Rogers memorial in the museum there, and he just kind of sits there and looks at him and goes like, "All right, I guess you're gonna make me ask this. Like, why did you get the shield back?" And really what it comes down to is the pressure of it. Like that's basically what Sam says. He's like, dude, I don't think I deserve it at this point. And it's so interesting because the amount of people, the amount of morons, I'm not even going to call them people, who are saying like, Bucky should have had the shield. And it's like, y'all, like, Steve no, like, there's a point even when when they're having this great conversation later on, where Bucky flat out admits that he knew what Steve knew, that they knew that Wilson was the one who needed to become Captain America, and
it's that scene in Endgame too, like right before, like when Steve comes back, they see old Steve sitting on the bench. Bucky's like, "Go ahead, go talk to him." Like he knows, like what's
exactly. He knew back then,
yeah.
and the show does a really good job of reaffirming that. And I think the thing I love, and to give a little bit of the peek behind the curtain, because so one thing I love about the chat that I run is like I've got like you and Nick in Canada and Jamarco and Keith and other Marco and like a lot of like genuine like dogged, like a lot of great like male relationships have come out of that chat. And I think what the show does is like it shows healthy male relationships, which is something we don't see often.
Yeah,
honestly, because I was when you think about something like when you think about how many rom-coms have like women being bitchy to each other just for the sake of being bitchy, like to a point that we talked about that on the Ted Lasso with the Keely, right?
Yeah.
And oh god, I'm blank. Why am I blank on Hannah Waddingham's character?
Right?
Becca, thank you. Like how their relationship is so cool because they're actually supportive of each other and not just like being, shitty to each other for the sake of being shitty. I love the relationship that Sam and Bucky develop because you know how you're friends with someone almost by proxy of someone that you both know, but you guys don't really have, you know what I mean? But you don't have like a relationship. Friend. Yeah. So it's almost like you're on like a weird, like almost like on weird play dates when that person's on around. Like,
no, waiting for Steve to get back. Where's all right?
Yeah. But what I like that the show does is it forces them to actually become friends and actually get to know each other. The whole counseling scene that they have is so goddamn fucking funny. That therapist is honestly like the perfect therapist for Bucky because one thing that I love that the show does is it actually does follow up directly on the in-game shit. So they go like, hey, you saved the world, Bucky. Granted, you've assassinated, dozens, if not hundreds of people. So the compromise is basically we're keeping an eye on you, but you need to go counseling.
You get a pardon now.
Yeah, which honestly, fair enough. I actually was like, that's actually a pretty fair compromise.
Just don't do anything illegal.
But then we see Bucky going through, and what I found really interesting too is like he's taken out people, getting people arrested who are like in the government who work for Hydra. How well that's aged. So I love that opening scene of him like getting that lady locked in her car, but then kind of giving like the whole like I am Bucky Barnes, you are like giving the whole like therapy speech as well. But I love the way that she like breaks him down, like breaks him down in the sense of Sam's been texting him, just like trying to check in, and he's just ignoring it. And she calls him out on it. And I went, good, because like there are people, I have friends who do that shit where I'm just like, I don't hear from him for a month. And it's like, check your fucking phone. But I really like the way the show checks him on that front. But I really like their relationship in terms of it's very combative when they first meet back up. And like you realize Bucky's going through his own shit too. And he kind of comes at Sam hot too, because the first thing he says is, why'd you give up the shield? It's not a hi, it's not a good to see you. Like it is straight to what the fuck were you doing giving the shield up? And this is one thing I love about Sebastian Stan. Like, the joke in the MCU is that he does that stare or he just like stares at someone, which is a great running gag. But the look on his face when he sees John Walker with the shield, he looks bewildered. He looks so fucking pissed off. I was like, damn, he is selling it just with that reaction. So I'll throw it to you, man. Talk to me about talk to me about their relationship and what you're kind of expecting going into this. I think you're glitching.
Oh well, yeah. Like you reminded me, and I love those early ones like this one. Oh,
Oh yeah, you like came through like a muddle like a lot at once.
oh no. Okay, hold on.
Some technical difficulties, people. We got storms in our areas. But while we're waiting for Brandon to get back, I will say, I'll say for myself, I just love Anthony Mackie and seeing the ascent of him from Captain America, Winter Soldier, to now. It's crazy. He's been on an 11-year journey. You know, he debuts as Sam Wilson in 2014's Winter Soldier, and now, you know, 11 years later, he's getting his first starring role in a Marvel film. Like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's great. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy for him, and that he's getting this chance. But I think one thing that the show does so flawlessly is it really does go, okay, how do we get to the journey? How do we go on the journey of Sam going ahead and actually getting the shield? And how does Sam define the shield? Welcome back, Brandon. How does Sam define the Captain America legacy for himself? And I think one thing that is so great about his journey is that he has to see what happens when someone who doesn't deserve the shield gets the shield. Because, you know, as Dr. Erskine said, it makes you more of what you already are. And John Walker, it's really interesting how they do the whole Star Spangled Man remix. Basically, you know, they have him come out Good Morning America. They got a black guy leading the marching band. He gets a high five, which I won't lie. The fact he was like I think it's hard enough to walk and listen to music at the same time. To be running full speed with a shield and high five someone and not trip on the field, that might be the most.
He's got good coordination. Whatever.
He's got good coordination, but one thing I love is how they start running down his actual accomplishments, like his military accomplishments, and you're kind of like, oh shit, like, all right, like on paper, this could work? Question mark? Maybe. And in the first initial fight scene that Walker has, like, he's using that shield. He's using that shield really well, and you're kind of like, shit, like maybe there's something here. Unfortunately, you know, the other shoe has to drop at some point, and when that shoe drops, boy howdy, is it it's unpleasant. But what I will say too is with Bucky and Sam's friendship, I really like how Sam is able to use the fact that he's a counselor in this show. It comes up multiple times, and it's something that they established back in Winter Soldier. It's like one of the first things they established about him, how he works at the VA and everything. Mm-hmm. And that comes up at multiple points. As Canada was saying, you know, he tries to go ahead and talk Walker down at multiple points. He goes ahead and he talks down Aaron Kellyman's Carly, who we'll get to her in a second. I love the way he talks to Bucky and tells him, like, you know, there's a point where they're basically having a catch, but they're tossing the shield, and he tells them about how, you know, apologizing makes you feel better, but doing the work and actually trying to make amends with these people, and how I'm sure there's one person in that book who, you know, needs some closure, and you're like, holy shit, like Sam, like Sam is Captain America-ing his ass off in this show. And the more the show goes on, the more I'm just like, God damn, like this is what Steve saw. Like, Steve saw this in him, and there's a reason why he's getting the shield instead of Bucky or instead of John. I love what they do with him in that sense. But to throw it back to Wyatt Russell, man, kind of your thoughts on him.
Yeah, I freaking love Wyatt Russell. Like, just like you, I loved him in Overworld. Loved him in the Monarch show. And yeah, just whenever he's one of those actors, whenever he pops up, I'm just like, ooh, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do, because he he hasn't been typecast. Like he knows how to play like very different characters. And yeah, just like you were saying earlier, like he knew the kind of smoke he would get playing John Walker, basically taking the shield from Sam, and stepping on Steve's legacy a little bit. But yeah, just that whole ending to episode 1 where like we don't even like the first thing we see is his like shit eating grin and that wink. And oh fuck this guy. I don't even know this guy yet, but screw this guy.
So bad.
I think like just his physicality, like just in that moment, like he hasn't even said a word. It's episode 1. Into episode 1, you're like, oh, this guy sucks. So it's like I think just a testament to Wyatt Russell and like what he does the rest of the show as well. Like it's like it's the same thing that you're saying. Like maybe I can kind of root for this guy. Like on paper, he seems like the right guy. Like he seems nice. He has a family. He's got a black friend.
His friend is black too, man. That like he is black as hell.
Undeniably.
Clay Bennett, who plays Battlestar. I was actually really hyped to see Battlestar.
I was like, oh, that's a deep cut right there.
Yeah, because I saw some people complaining. They're like, oh, I want more of him. I'm like, so many of you didn't even know Battlestar was.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't want to hear that shit. Like this show stars a black man. Let's calm down. But he's good for the bits that he gets. He's like. It's really funny how it's almost like a fun mirror version of Bucky and Sam's relationship.
Very much so.
Like, because it's very much like it's very much good cop, bad cop. Because John Walker is definitely the one with like the rougher edges to him. But Battlestar is one who's actually talking to Sam and Bucky and being like, okay, y'all, like, look, maybe we should actually
work this out or something.
Yeah, he's more kind of diplomatic between the two. But what I'll say about John Walker is, you know that shoe's gonna drop. And I will say this is where being a nerd is kind of a bummer. Because
you know the character,
because at some point we have to get to a certain spot, and so I'm watching this going, okay, he has to become a U.S. agent. Like at some point that shoe has to drop. But what I will say, man, is the way that sometimes it. As I've said, it's not always about the destination. It's about the journey, and the journey to get to U.S. agent when he just snaps and kills that dude. So if there's a complaint about the show, and I am going to give the show a bit of a pass on this front because this was like filmed during COVID and all that. You can tell that the Flag Smashers. I think that there's going to be more of a thing involved in those vials and all that.
There's a lot more to that plot. Yeah,
there's clearly going to be more to that plot. But given the fact we are going through lockdown and TBH still dealing with that, like, I get why they cut that shit. Like, because you don't want, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to see like a fucking tower go down after night, like. A month after 9/11 or something. Exactly. Like you want to be sensitive to that. So I think it got the point across enough for me to go, okay, I get this. Ironically enough, the shit with the terrorist shit in terms of like people losing their homes and all that, that's actually aged a lot better than it should. I don't even need to mention it. Y'all are smart. But that aspect has actually made the show age better for me. Because it is like, ooh, like A, uncomfortable because accurate, but B, also, what the fuck do you do logistically when half the world's population blips and then comes back 5 years later? Like, how the fuck do you even begin to start, like handling that from a logistical perspective? And it's really interesting how it brings up a very big time world issue, cough Navy Federal Union, where you look at how Black people can't get loans, can't get approved for loans. I don't know if you're familiar, but that story came out last year. Navy Federal denied half of Black applicants for loans, which is insane. Sorry, over half. Pardon me. Fucking insane. And so when Sam's talking about trying to go ahead and save their boat and getting this loan. And the bank goes, oh, well, actually, you don't have any like history. And they're like, we were literally blipped out of fucking existence. And they literally go, oh, tough shit.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like really? And it's one of those things where I like I was waiting for the people to say Marvel's gone woke with Falcon the Winter Soldier, and of course some of you fucking idiots did that shit. But I have a friend. I have a sibling, a friend who has a sibling who's not allowed in our house because they did the hashtag not like Captain America. I was like, oh cool, you're a fucking dude. Yeah, I was like, oh cool, like you're a fucking asshole. So many people pulled that shit. You're all dumb, by the way, but it was crazy to see these real world issues brought into the show. I think in a very organic way. I'll throw it to you to get your response on this. Carl Lumbly's Isaiah Bradley in this show. Lumbly, pardon me. I actually had a guy block me on Facebook from the old chat I was in because he was like they wouldn't incorporate red, white, and black in this show, and I was like, in order to tell the story right, they kind of have to.
Yeah, right.
And so when I saw him, I was like, oh shit, they're doing it. I was like, haha. And so he got roasted and blocked me. But see, this is why you don't question me on Marvel shit. But I so first off, Carl Lumbly, he is big, man. Like he's in shape. Like I don't know how I don't know how old. Let me see. He's 73. He does not look it. Good, goddamn, good for you. But I was so happy to see him in this, number one. Number two, his story is so goddamn tragic. It's like tragic doesn't even really begin to cover how bad it is. And I think the thing that just made me so upset is the first introduction to him. You get just enough of his story to go, oh fuck. Like just enough for you to go, oh no, that's not good. And then you get the whole concept of him fighting Bucky, which I've been saying, give me a red, white, and black miniseries. Like, give me that shit. Give me a 4 or 5 episode miniseries of that. I would be so down. Have him just narrate the shit. That would rule. But that little bit, that nugget we get, you're like, oh shit. And then as we go back, we get to learn more about Isaiah. And I think the thing that just made me just break down. I was like, fuck. It's the Tuskegee Airmen. Like, it's basically that told out in a comic book show. How they talk about how they were told they were getting this one drug, which they clearly weren't. And they were testing out different versions of the super soldier serum on all these black soldiers, because of course you would. And then how he goes ahead and he breaks these black soldiers out and frees them. Same thing Steve did. And then he lifts up his shirt and says, oh, and this is what I got for it. And he literally got branded, like fucking cut up. And you're just like, fuck, man. And I don't look up reaction videos for shit often, but just seeing people react to Isaiah's journey and just being like, oh, Jesus. And I was actually very proud of how many people got the Tuskegee Airmen connection, because I was pointing that out to a lot of my friends, and a lot of my friends were like, wait, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah, man, like this is clearly what they're mirroring. And and so having people, and it actually really made me happy, because having people who weren't familiar with what happened with the Tuskegee Airmen, there's a great documentary on HBO Max, by the way, that y'all should check out. But having people look that up and realize, like, oh fuck, what did America do? And it's like, yeah, it's like, this is, and I love that line he drops where he's like, you know, like, pledge allegiance to that, brother. And you're just like, fuck. And it's just like, and you just realize, like, how, like, when you realize that black people are paranoid about shit, it's because we have a right to be. You know, whether it's Martin Luther King Jr. being taped by the FBI because they want to bring him down. I could go on a whole rant about that. It's such a tragic thing what they do with Bradley, but it's so well handled, and I think it's done with such respect. Yeah, kind of your thoughts on that, Brandon?
I was the kind of the same boat as you. Like, I was like, it'd be so cool if Isaiah Bradley shows up in the show. Oh shit, he's in the show. And just having him be played by Carl Lumbly, who I loved for a long time, even before I knew who he was, because he was the voice of Martian Manhunter on the Justice League series. And so, yeah, just his voice has always been in my head since I was a kid. But yeah, seeing him return to more superhero stuff, even after, because like I loved him in Doctor Sleep as well.
He's
But
so good in that.
so good, underrated. But yeah, I think this show definitely needed that, especially to kind of not mirror Sam, but just like show the past in a way that Steve couldn't show him. Like,
Yeah,
I think Isaiah is that balance, or that look in the mirror, look in the government that Sam needs to further his journey throughout the show. Like, I think Isaiah definitely pushes him in the right direction, and like, I'm the same with you. I would love to see more of that history, just more of Isaiah. I mean, I'm glad we're gonna see him in the new movie, but yeah, just like how you said, like him fighting Bucky, him freeing the other black soldiers. Like, I love to see just his history and like maybe not like a straight adaptation of red, white, and black, but just something where we can get more of that story, more of that character, because I think the work that he does in this show is like fantastic. All the scenes he has with Sam are great, but especially that payoff with the ending is just so
and
so
we'll
damn
get there.
satisfying. It's just I'm emotional.
And we will get there. So I want to go through just a couple highlights before we kind of dig a little deeper. The opening flight sequence is fucking perfect. It's
So
one of my
good.
favorite. It's one of my favorite action scenes in a Marvel property. So you should look up my Letterboxd review. I'll probably share it with you here. But one of the things about the show that I love is the action sequences are like. We've talked about this a lot, how at points, power levels are, scaled up, scaled down to kind of fit the narrative of, which I know people complain about that, but I'm just telling y'all, you have not read enough comics.
I'm about to say it's so much worse in comic books.
Because it's so much worse in comics. Like, it's so much fucking worse in the comics.
Mhm.
And that's Marvel and DC. Like, they do that shit
Everything.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the fucking time. Because Superman should just whip Batman in like 5 seconds, and that's a whole other. Anyways, but what I love about this, and I really, really love about a lot of these Marvel shows, is that we're seeing everyone who's not quote super powered unquote kind of leveling up more and more, and you're seeing that Sam is way more confident in his flight attributes. He just gets this shit. Like the way he's flying in between like boulders and shit in that opening flight sequence, you're just like, God damn, like, okay. Like he gets like how to work the suit with angles and all this stuff. Like, it's really quite impressive. And the way that him and Red Wing work in tandem together is so fucking great. And it's one of those things that you are just like, wow, like this is so cool. I love the fact they brought back George St. Pierre's Batroc the Leaper too. That just made me happy. I'm like, oh, that's fucking great that you're bringing him back.
That's a good little callback.
Yeah, like I love the fact he's fought 2 Captain Americas now. But and then the other thing I will say is the Civil War remix that we get to start episode 5 is one. So I think The World Is Watching is one of the best. That's episode 4. That is one of the best hours of TV, of content Marvel has ever produced. Like it is incredible. The actual ending where John Walker snaps and kills that Flag Smasher using the shield, and you see the multiple points of POV shots of people on their phones, like recording it in real time, and you're just like, so
this is the other shoe dropping.
So that's exactly what would happen, because that shit would be on TikTok with
immediately.
Immediately
about it.
And you'd be like, and you'd go on your For You page and be like, what the fuck is like that's exactly how it would
Captain
go.
America just killed a dude on TV.
Yeah, but then too, the way episode 5 opens up, I love that Sam is like, look, dude, he didn't kill Lamar. Like, he's still trying to talk him down. He's like, dude, you need to give me the
Yeah, I love
shield.
how it follows up immediately. I love that.
Yeah, like because there was that part of me that was kind of thinking like, are they gonna like do a recap of it or something? And it's like, no, they are right.
We're right there.
They go right to it, and I love how John Walker immediately gets defensive because
adrenaline is still flowing.
And actually, let's rewind just a little bit. So episode 4. Oh man, so the finale is my favorite episode because I think it's almost perfect top to bottom. I love episode 4 though because we start off in Wakanda. So that's the other thing I will say too, is the actual introduction of Wakanda in here makes so much fucking sense given that's where Bucky was. Hearing Sebastian Stan actually speak Wakandan, he's on that shit. I was like, okay, like I was like, all right, White Wolf, I see you. Like, I really also it just makes me really happy that Bucky is just so at home with black people. Like Bucky
when he shows up at the boat, like in Louisiana, it's just like, yeah, of course he does. Bucky's been around the town.
When when Ayo shows up from Wakanda, played by Florence Kasumba, who is fucking gorgeous. She is 48. Are you fucking kidding me?
Would not have fucking guessed that.
No fucking. Okay, that's bull. That can't be right. 40.
Black don't crack.
Good, goddamn, good for her. But when she shows up, I'm not gonna lie, dude. My first thought was, this is the tone of someone that you've had sex with before.
Yeah, she's the one that probably broke it off. But like,
yeah, 1000%.
But it's just like they both have the understanding. They both seem like, oh yeah, no, it's okay, we're cool.
Yeah, but she's talking to him like someone she's fucked before.
Yeah,
and I was laughing so hard because I said that to Leia. She looked at me. She's like, "Oh my god, you're so right." And I was like,
yeah.
Bucky was in Wakanda for a minute. There's no way that at some point.
Hot minute.
But that's some of the best acting from Sebastian Stan, is how she's the one who went ahead and like deprogrammed him from the Winter Soldier commands, and that opening where he's trying so hard because he doesn't want to snap again and lose himself, and you are free, and the way he just breaks down.
Yeah,
I won't lie, dude, bawled my eyes out. It's one of those moments where you're like, he wanted this for so long to just be able to be himself, and you're just like, holy shit. And then it cuts to them in real time. How, to be fair, and I know we're jumping all over the place, but that's fine. Bucky is the one who went ahead and broke Zemo out of prison. And what's so interesting about that is, of course, we know that Zemo was the one who killed King T'Chaka.
Yeah.
Which, man, that scene is still fucking heartbreaking. I do find it interesting that the only ones that Zemo doesn't have beef with in the MCU were T'Challa and Sam.
Right?
Like they're the two people he seems to respect the most because he kind of hates everyone else.
He should have the most beef with them, but no, it's like, nah, there's respect there.
But it's got like he actually, like, people forget he apologized to T'Challa. Like he hasn't apologized for shit. That's the one thing.
Still though, yeah,
that's the one thing he apologized for, and he actually has these conversations with Sam. And I think Daniel Bruhl, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, he's great.
So we talked about it earlier. Rush is the shit. If you have not watched Rush, you need to watch Rush. He's fantastic in that. I heard he's great in the franchise, which I'm sorry just got canceled.
He's very funny, like very good in that.
But then I will say I was a big fan of The Alienist. I really dug that show.
Yeah, I remember that show. That was great.
Yeah, I really liked him on that. And then being Karl Lagerfeld is actually really good. I dug that. He's very charming in that. So I'd recommend that as well. But what I love about Zemo is he's incredibly charming in this. Like he's just smooth with it. Like he's just smooth as silk. But some of the best shit in this movie or in the show is when Mackie, Bruhl, and Stan are working off each other.
Yeah, that little
love
trio was very fun.
I love the fact that we find out that that Zemo is like an aristocrat and has like all this money and shit, and so they end up going to Mandrapore, and they're on like his private plane, and I was just sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. Like the Zemo drip is
Yeah, this
strong.
is what I've been wanting from Zemo, just seeing his more sophisticated aristocrat, like just not playboyness, but just like I'm better than you casually.
Yeah,
that kind of
exactly.
stuff.
But I and I as a music fan, shout out to Jamarco, we love you, bud. The conversation about Marvin Gaye's Trouble Man
Oh man, so good.
made me so goddamn happy. I actually had to pause and rewind because I was laughing so hard.
It's so good.
Because Trouble Man, if y'all have not listened to Trouble Man, he's 1,000% like
Yeah,
when
that's amazing.
because there's this point they bring up Steve's journal, and if you remember from Winter Soldier, that's the first thing that Mackie tells him to go ahead and write down is Marvin Gaye's Trouble Man, and Steve goes, I'll add it to the list, and so so he brings it up to Bucky, and Bucky's like, wait, you didn't like Trouble Man? He's like, no, I thought it was good. And then Zemo jumps in. He's like, it's an extraordinary piece of art, like that really details the Black experience. And I was like, oh my god, he's so down. Like why? Like
He's
why?
with it.
like Zemo gets it, and of course you get the classic gif. He's out of line, but he's
But
right.
he's right.
And it's that moment where I'm like, I would invite Zemo in anything. Like Zemo's great, and of course,
I mean, you got to mention the Zemo dancing scene we get.
I was just about to bring up, like, when they go to Madripoor. So, I mean, we got to talk about that, man. Madripoor is a big deal. That
was like the first time people were like, "Oh shit, X-Men are happening. X-Men things are connected."
Because that's where Patch Wolverine gets into his shit with the Hulk. Like, I was very like, "Oh, okay," because I pointed out to Alea. She's like, "Oh shit, really?" And I was like, "I won't lie." I kind of hyped myself up, but I was like, X-Men appearance, and then nothing. And I was like,
I mean, we were all ready for X-Men appearances in those early days of the Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think we're getting there, people. We're getting there.
Yeah.
But I love that because then we're reintroduced to Emily Van Camp's Sharon Carter. So I will say, and I really like what they're actually doing with Sharon. By the way, I was actually a big fan of that show Revenge that she was on. I actually really liked that show.
Oh my god, I forgot about that show.
Yeah, I really liked Revenge. I won't lie, I've had a thing for her for a minute. So seeing her in the MCU now, it's like that's pretty wild. But she's like, she gets some action scenes in here.
I really like her action scenes. Yeah,
dude, she is a badass. Like, so getting hit with a pipe just always seems like the most unpleasant shit in the world.
Yeah.
like, and she hits this dude in the jaw, and I was like, oh man, that would ruin your fucking day. Like it was, like it was such a savage shot, but she gets some amazing sequences in here, and I like the 180 of her character because she's a clearly bitter person, and she has every right to be because she gets fucked over royally by Steve. Like let's call it what it is.
The government, everybody.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like Sam is the one left holding the bag. And that's what sucks about it, because it's like, damn, like it's like he didn't do shit. Like this is the government and Steve's fault, but they're not, but they're not here. So of course he's
gonna do it. He's gonna help.
Yeah, which sucks. And I will say that the show does a good job of kind of teasing that they might hook up. Like they tease it just enough to kind of make.
She's got some stuff going on, like this new version of Sharon.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we find out she's the power broker, but there's that point where like Sam is changing, and she even kind of like looks in the mirror. She's kind of like I wouldn't mind. It's like, whoa, Sharon. it's like you slept with his best friend. Or actually, you didn't sleep with his best friend, did you? So okay, maybe, but
maybe it's unconfirmed if they slept together.
That is true. Well, I mean, Captain America fucks, according to
Captain America fucks.
So we
according to the Bruce Banner.
Yeah, so so maybe they did, perhaps. But what I'll say about her is, I think a lot of people were just, I really think this is a case of, and I think these Marvel shows are kind of unique to that because there's so much can to pull from that we really do kind of hype ourselves up in the shit when we really shouldn't. And people are kind of like, oh, was is it someone else or da da da? And and I remember telling Alea by like episode 3, I'm like, she's the power broker. Like, it has to be her. Like, could it be like my swing if it wasn't her was that it was Fisk?
Oh yeah, I remember Fisk going around. Yeah,
because Fisk, but then we got Fisk like a show later, so it's like so. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like sometimes the obvious answer is just the obvious answer.
for sure.
But people are like mad about that. I was happy with it. I'm actually very intrigued with what they're gonna do with it moving forward. But what I'll say about Sharon is, I like the edge she has. There's a point where she just puts like a what was it? It was like something monoxide or mercury vapor. That was it. She put like this fucking grenade on this guy's truck, and mercury vapor just blows out of it and melts half this guy's face. I was like, Jesus fuck! Like, what are we doing, Sharon? But like seeing those sort of things, you're like, okay, she has more of an edge to her. I also love the fact that she's using the face clip technology that they showed in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Black Widow. I love the fact that tech is still around and prominent. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I like when you call back to shit like this. But getting back real quick to Zemo, he has just enough Hannibal Lecter to him in this show, and a lot of the conversations he has with Bucky, because of course he's the one who set Bucky on the warpath in Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah, like an asshole. And so Bucky, rightfully so, is like over this dude at points. But I love the way he just like prods a little bit here, prods a little bit there. They have this great conversation about Carly and how he's right. He's like, she's going to continue to escalate until you either stop or you put her down. And I was like, fuck, he's not wrong though. Like but I love Sam's optimism because that's what that's so I felt like Sam that moment. I felt like Brule was Bradley because he's not wrong, but you have to have that optimism. But he's not wrong, and like you see Carly more and more. That conversation she has with Sam, and how saying like they're not people, and I'll basically kill anyone that I need to, and you're just like, oh no, like no, you can't be saying. You can't be saying shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's, was that for you kind of the moment you're like, uh-oh? Because that was my uh-oh moment. Because up until then, I was like, girl, I'm kind of with you on this. Like, you're not wrong. Like, fair enough. You have every right to be pissed. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Buildings start getting blown up and shit. I was like, oh no. Because it's like, it kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like, there was definitely more with the Flag Smashers, but what we get is like Carly, along with her group, is very much, they're not the bad guys, but they end up just doing worse and worse things. But yeah, that moment where her and Sam had that sit down talk, it's like, oh yay, she's almost redeemable. And then it's like, oh no, wait, she's a little bit too far gone.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how she kind of straddles that line initially because Sam even says it. And again, this is why he is supposed to be Captain America. The fact he says, like, I can get with your fight and I understand it, but like the way you're doing it is wrong. And it's like, yeah, that's the linchpin right there is the way they're going about it. And it's so interesting because there's this point where she calls Sam's sister, and you're just like, oh, you're really pushing
like you're doing too much now.
Because I'll be real, that was the point for me. Because I was talking to Alea and I were talking about it, and I was like, what's something that someone could do that would like be your line? And my first thing was, I was like, if someone fucked with you or the cats, I was like, I'd be like, oh cool. So now there's no going back. I have to kick your ass.
Yeah,
and the way she's so nonchalant talking to Sam's sister, who's played by Edipero Aduye, by the way.
She's great in here too.
She's really good in this. The way she's like, oh yeah, so you live at this address with your 2 kids, right? This one, and you're just like, okay, yeah. Overstep, habitual line stepper, can't do
that. Very much
like,
so.
Like, you can't do that shit. And that's what actually ends up leading to that's actually what leads to Battlestar's death. So that fight scene I was mentioning, that Civil War remix, dude, John Walker is like that. He's off the reservation by that point.
He's super soldier serum up by then, right? And he's very much, it's enhanced his worst parts of himself.
When he hits Zemo with that shield, oh my god! Like he knocked the shit. Like,
he was ready to do more damage.
So that is one thing I will say. I love the fact that we find out that the super soldier serum has been recreated.
Yeah, and that's a great kind of reveal.
And that scientist that plays it, that who I don't have the guy's name here. Sorry, man. But the guy who plays that scientist did a great fucking job. He's very scummy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like he's so scummy about it too. Like it's very like, damn. And the way they explain, I really like the way, and Hawkeye does a great job of this too, of really getting across the weight of the blip. Because him being like, oh yeah, I basically had this shit done, but then I blipped back into existence, so I was able to basically complete this shit under the radar. You're like, oh shit, yeah, you would be able to do that. Same thing with like when Yelena pops back up and you're like, oh shit, you lost 5 fucking years and you didn't get to talk to your sit. Like I love those instances of it. But what I also love is Zemo is true to his character, because he shoots the guy the moment he finds him.
Yep, he's like, no more of that. Thank you.
Zemo was so cold with it, just immediately.
Yeah.
2 shots to the chest. And he double tapped. I was like, God damn, Zemo. Yeah. Oh man, that shit made me laugh. Like that was like the kind of like the pencil trick for me, because I was like, Jesus Christ. Like I looked up and he'd already killed the guy.
He's dead, no more.
But I love the speaking of serum, I love that that shot. So first off, he shoots Carly, and again, doesn't think twice about it. Comes around the corner, bop bop. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. He's like, this is business. Like, you guys thought I was joking? No, I'm no more super soldiers.
But again, I love someone who's straight up like who doesn't discriminate, because I don't want someone like, I don't want Zemo to be like, oh well, you're a kid, that's where I draw my. It's like, no, like you get the smoke too. And he and I love how he goes like, is that what I think it is? And she of course doesn't answer, and he kind of goes like, oh perfect, I know that's what it is. And I love the up angle that we get when he starts just smashing the shit out of these serums. You're he's like, fuck you. Like, no absolutely more. Not. But then, of course, he can't get them all. He gets 4 out of 5. And to your point, that's where Walker takes it. And that's where we get this AEW wrestling fight, this triple threat match, this 2-on-1 handicap match. And I gotta say, as you were saying, Walker's off the reservation. Like, he's got that serum pulsing through his veins, and he's ready to kill Sam. Like, he straight up nearly kills Sam in the same way that he killed the one Flag Smasher. And the way he even goes like, I'm Captain America. Like, he's fucking growling the shit. You're like Jesus Christ, dude. Like you have lost the plot, man. You need to calm down.
To Bucky's point, like the whole time he's been ready to fight like Walker, so he's like kind of game for this. He's like, oh, okay.
Well, I love you guys don't want to do this, and Bucky just kind of looks at the girl and goes, yeah, we do. And
I do.
I was like, oh shit. And I will say too, the way that Sam uses the jetpack even after Walker breaks his wings, which I'm not gonna lie, dude, that scared the shit out of me when he did that. I was like, oh my God in heaven. I was like, you are like it shows how strong he is. You're just like, God damn.
Mhm.
But I love the way that Sam uses the jetpack to break, and Bucky uses the super soldier arm to break his arm.
Yeah, it's so fucking wild. Oh my god.
Like I know
they take that shield by force back.
Yeah, that was so when he did that, I screamed because I was like, Jesus fuck, because I'm not gonna lie, dude, I thought they'd cut away. I thought they would cut away.
They gave it to us.
And nah, man, you see that shit break in real time, and you hear Walker just scream like he's been shot. It's
yeah.
And then
it's
the way the way they basically like they separated that shoulder off fucking jetpack shield combo like
that fucked his arm all the way up.
Yeah,
like, if he wasn't a super soldier, he would have been messed up for life.
Yeah, but you're like holy shit! Like it's such a brutal fight scene.
Mhm.
In the way that Bucky like throws the shield down to Sam, like dude, like this, like you can't be fucking around about this anymore.
Yeah, like don't do this shit again. Don't give it away again.
Yeah, like basically what he does is he's like, yeah, dude, you can't give the shit away ever again. It's handled with such intensity and it's handled with the gravity it should be because and dude, we've talked about this, man. Like we have friends that have served or are serving, and dude, he loses everything.
Almost immediately, yeah.
Everything. When they're like, you will receive no rank or military benefits for your, I was like, holy fuck. Yeah. I'm like, he lost everything because of this. And to Canada's point, they're not mad that he did it. They're just mad he got caught because it is international incident level 10 levels of oh wow, you fucked up royally and now we have to answer for it.
Yeah.
In the way that he has a speech about how I followed your rules, I live my life by your laws, and I'm sitting there going, he's not wrong. Like he's so not wrong. Like he's like
it's so good.
Like he's wrong for what he did. But like you think about, I mean, I'll be nice, and I mean people, but I can also say, but I can also point out Afghanistan, man. Like it's like when the veil was finally dropped, it was like, oh yeah, we didn't really need to go off Afghanistan, but oil. It's like, oh wow, that's fucking terrible. And you think about all those soldiers that went through what they went through.
I'll say it since Canada's not here. The military-industrial complex.
Yeah, it's crazy how much the government really wipes its hands. It's like, oh yep, nope, you're the ones who fucked up, not us. And it's like,
sorry, see you later, whatever happens.
And it is crazy how you have someone like Rhodey in the government, and they could have literally been like, dude, do you think Sam is ready? And then just give them the shield back. But they're like, no. Like, let's go ahead and give it to this crazy white dude. To go through just a few more things here before we wrap up. I do think the finale is my favorite episode. The reveal of the comic accurate Sam Wilson cap suit is I screamed. I legit screamed. I was like, oh my God. Now, I will say, to be a little nitpicky, and I know Larry would be proud of me, the thing around the neck is like the one thing I'm not crazy about.
Kind of collar, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, but I'll be real, dude, that's such a nitpick for me because that suit looks clean.
I love that suit so much.
Like, man. The suit is fucking I was like, holy fuck, you nailed it. Like, it's so goddamn good. And it's one of my favorite translations of a comic suit like ever, honestly. Like I agreed. Like I was amazed at how great it looked. And then the new Red Wing looks perfect. The new shield, all from Wakanda, looks
shout out Wakanda.
Shout out Wakanda forever. Wow, that was awesome. But I love the new suit so fucking much. I love the there's that point where Sam does that forward roll, uses a shield to break that helicopter window, and then jets through and like tackles the guy out of his seat. That's one of the coolest fight moves I've seen in a Marvel anything. I was like, what? Like, and then when the helicopter crashes on him on the bridge and he folds himself in to the suit using the shield. I was like, motherfucker! Like, there's so many moments like that where you're like, oh wow, Sam fucking gets this shit, and this is why he's fucking Captain America. I won't lie, man. His fucking montage in episode 5, that's some Creed motorbike shit, and I love it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a sucker for montages. That's some goddamn. They were channeling Creed and Rocky like a motherfucker, and I loved it.
Yeah, like him doing flips with the shoe. I'm like, nah, more.
Yeah, I don't care.
More.
It's so good.
I was like, give me more. I don't give a shit.
Please.
That shit made me so happy, and I won't lie, man. The last shot of that montage of his nephews touching the shield.
Ah, so good.
That dude, that's what it's about, man. Like when I saw that, I was like, fuck. Like the show gets it. Like it fucking gets it. Carly ends up getting shot by the power broker.
Yeah.
In a great cover up, I won't lie. Like that was actually something I went.
Sharon
That's
was like, I'm getting my way back in. I don't care how.
Yeah, like I love the way they handled that, and I love that Carly is like, is done. She's done. She's like, I will fucking kill you, and Sam is like not fighting. I'm just like, god damn, like Zemo was right. Fucking sucks, but he was right. The shot. So, 2 quick things on the finale. I love John Walker's like shitty makeshift shield and how Carly just kicks that shit out of the air.
Yeah, you think he's gonna like do something with it, but it's like almost dispatched immediately.
He's like, fuck your shield. Like I laughed so hard at that shit. I was like, yep, that's not vibranium. Like fuck you. The shot where Sam lifts the truck up, weep every time. It's like it's such a great hero moment, and then you greet that 1-2 punch of the one dude go, the old black guy go, that's the Black Falcon right there. Which
he's like, nah.
And then you get the guy, yeah, and I just went, oh fuck, and then I cry all over again. It's like, goddamn,
that's all I need. That's all I need.
It's like, you know, like for you fuckers who say he's not, no, he is, and you can just deal with it.
You can shut up about it. Yeah,
that shit gets me every fucking time. Yeah, kills me. And then, dude, we gotta talk about that speech, man.
Yeah,
it is the moment. I told Leia, I was like, oh, I can already hear the Marvel goes full woke. Captain Falcon, the Winter Soldier finale. Like, but honestly, you keep proving this fucking point. The more time goes on, the more you prove his point. He's right. Like at the end of the day, Captain America's greatest attribute is that he believes that we can do better. And the point that he makes, and it's a point that is still relevant today, is that this woman was willing to take on the government, and no one has taken a second to ask why. And you're just like,
nobody wanted to talk about it. Just wanted to get rid of her. Wanted to get her out of there.
And you're just like, oh my god, he gets it. And the whole, I'm a black man wearing the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? Like, I know that millions of people will always hate me for it. I can feel the stares now. I'm just like, god damn. And it's like I already know the type of people who are uncomfortable. Like, here's the thing: if you aren't comfortable watching that,
then you may have to look a little bit inside yourself about
like that's one of those things you really need to be like if you're the same person who hated the last frame of Watchmen the series, you really need to look inward as far as your racist biases that you have. That speech is one of the best things that Marvel has written.
It's so good. Like,
it's genuinely perfect. I just the way that shit. I was flabbergasted, honestly. Like, it's a speech I've probably watched 100 times easily. Like, I've rewatched that a lot, honestly, when I'm feeling hopeless. To be honest, I watched it again the other day. I watched it again the other day, and I was like, fuck, like, you need to hear shit like that right now. But it was one of those things that I was amazed at how well that was written. I was amazed at how well Matthew delivers lines. The whole concept of, who's in the room with you when you're making these decisions. You're just like, fuck, he gets it. And
it's like the perfect culmination of like the Sam we see at the beginning of this season to the end, where he's like, he's making the government speech. He's like, blah blah blah. Here's the shield, and now he's like, nah, you got to listen to me now. Like,
yeah,
you had your time.
and it's so fucking well handled, and like, you see people taking pictures and recording, and you're just like, oh, the contrast between the last time a Captain America was recorded on cell phones to that, and that's something I don't think enough people have pointed out, like that complete 180, and it's just it's so well handled, and I love, again, the show's very good at hitting you with a punchline, but then hitting you with something that makes you go, oh, and I love Bucky going like, oh yeah, sorry, I only heard black guy and shit.
Yeah.
And so it hits you with that humor, but then he goes, great job, Cap. And you're like,
yeah,
oh, we called him Cap. And then I'm
Captain America.
Yeah, and he was just like, oh god, and just
Good
and
stuff.
and then I just lose my shit. And then of course we get I'm not gonna lie, man. The fact it ends with where it ends up with him going back to Isaiah's, and you seen the exhibit that he got put in about him. I weep every time I see that scene,
so
man.
Fucking God.
Because when he goes back, you're like, okay, good. I'm happy we're just, even back with Isaiah. But I love that, black people built this country. I'm not gonna let anyone say that I can't fight for it. And you're like, oh,
fucking good line.
And you're like, God damn it, show. Like, the thing about the show is it keeps hitting you with stuff like that to just kind of remind you that it gets it. And you're like, I know this will piss people off, but this is exactly like I was, one of my lines I talk about all the time in the chat, man. We are past the time of subtlety.
Oh, hell no. No more subtlety.
I love shit like this. We're like, no, you were gonna hear what we're fucking saying. Like, dude, that's one of the things I love about Promising Young Woman. It's like, no, we're gonna
subtlety. Yeah, that's
like, no, you are gonna hear this shit, and it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. I love this shit, man, and I love how the way that Lumbly sells it when he goes, now they'll never forget what you've done, and that the way he hugs him and he shakes, dude. I lose it, man. I lose it every fucking time.
It's so good.
Like, yeah, man. It's genuinely one of those things where I'm just like, this is a perfectly acted scene. Like, there like no notes. And then of course the show ends with a cookout. Like, I love that it ends with a fucking cookout, and I love that Bucky is just, as I said, is just so at home with the black folks. Like, he's so, and. Let's be real. He's gonna end up dating Sam's sister. Like, it's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, that's Sam's brother-in-law now.
Yeah, Bucky has a type. He's like Joshua Jackson. He has a type. But
he's gonna be there. Yep.
But getting the final thoughts, man. I wasn't even gonna rewatch this because I'll be real. I've watched this probably start to finish at least 12 times. Yeah. Like I didn't really need to watch it. But I rewatched the back half. I actually ended up rewatching the whole show, and just rewatching it, like, it's like, fuck. I love this goddamn show. Like, when it came out, and I was like, it's my favorite thing Marvel's done. I had a couple people go like, dude, really? I'm like, nah, man. Like, I've rewatched the show a couple times since it's come out, and I won't lie, Loki is right there. Loki's really close because, like, I love Loki, and I love what they do with like the sci-fi in there.
Yeah, I guess that's that.
But just as a black dude, man, this shows just for me. It really is. It's just one of these shows that I find more and more to like about it the more I watch it. And I love the stances it takes. I forgot to mention this real quick before I throw it to you. That scene where the cops stop him.
Oh,
holy fuck. You want to talk about a scene that triggered me, and I was just like, oh man, I don't like these people. It's like, and the whole like, oh, you look different without your fives. I was like, oh fuck. Oh man, I was like, I was so mad because I was like, you assholes, because I get what this was like.
Yeah.
That shit is so accurate, unfortunately. But I love this goddamn show so much, and it's one of these things where, when you think about the black content, some of the black content we've gotten between this and Craig of the Creek and Moon Knight and Devil Dinosaur and like Invincible Fight Girl. Like, there's been some amazing stuff. Watchmen. There's been some incredible shit that's come out the last 5-6 years in terms of like Black content. I know you obviously helped me review it, but dude, I rewatched a little bit of Watchmen. God damn, man, like that show, like there are
just amazing.
There are things that, like, I don't think perfection exists in really anything, but this and Watchmen, man, these are shows I rewatch not rarely, but I do find myself throwing on scenes or just the scores and just being like, yeah, this is how you do this shit. The Louisiana Hero, like Sam's main like theme too. Henry Jackman coming back to do the score, nailed the fucking score, dude. The score is great here. And then the last thing I'll throw out before I throw it to you is the John Walker Dora Milaje fight is so, it's everything. Like when the Dora Milaje show up and they beat the shit out of John Walker, it is so fucking gratifying. I was just like, oh my god, I didn't know I needed this, but
you needed it, yeah.
Because they whip his ass in a way, like when he says put down the pointy sticks, I was like, oh dude,
yeah,
I was like, cool, you deserve to get your ass kicked. And the shot of Ao actually holding the shield too, because she picked that shit up. I was like, can you take that back to Okoye? Okoye looked really great, like yielding that shit. But yeah,
and just to get into Zemo's or Daniel Bruhl's great comedic timing, just him making a drink while like John Walker gets his ass kicked.
And then escaping like a smooth motherfucker.
Yep.
Like
he stays a little bit to watch the fight, and then he's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, and just dips. Like he Irish goodbyes it. Like I was like, good for you. Like Zemo's love Zemo. And I'm very happy he's still around too.
Yeah, bring him back.
Yeah, I think
he's got to show up in Thunderbolts, right?
He'll be in Thunderbolts. He'll definitely be in Thunderbolts.
Like
but
in the same way, Sharon Carter's got to probably pop up in Brave New World.
Yeah, like she'll be in for at least a scene or two. But yeah, man. End of the day, man, this is a fan fucking tastic for me. I stand by it, man. I think it is the best thing. I don't know if this is, but it's my favorite thing Marvel's done. That's what I'll say. It's my favorite thing Marvel's done, and it's a top 5 thing that they've done. I love this show, and I know people have been talking shit about Brave. I'm hyped for Brave New World. Like, even if it's just as good as like, because someone was asking me, you're like, do you think it's gonna be better than Winter Soldier? I was like, probably not. But I was like, if it's as good as First Avenger, I'm fine with that because I love First Avenger. So, yeah. But this is a fan fucking tastic for me. I've revisited so much I couldn't give it anything but. But yeah, Brandon, your final thoughts and grades, sir.
Yeah, I fucking love the show too. Like, I remember loving it when it came out. Like, I still have such a love for those first 3 Marvel shows, this, WandaVision, and Loki, and just like what they did with the post blip, and really focusing on the, humanity and just how kind of fucked up these characters are. And I think like this show does like a great job of handling Bucky as well as Sam, like their journey post blip, post Endgame, and kind of like finding themselves again. It's great comic book stuff, great melodrama, great government stuff. Like, it's in Cap media. You always got to have some stuff about the government and how much they kind of suck.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah,
it's kind of like Starfleet at this point.
There you go, exactly. Yeah. Very much like Starfleet. But yeah, no, I love this show. Like, I'm right here with you. I hadn't rewatched it as much as you, so rewatching it now, like I'm still like going through it. It's still like just a joy, like to watch.
Really is.
Anthony Mackie is of course fantastic as Sam. I'm so glad like this casting. Like, this has been one of the kind of my favorite underrated Marvel or just like superhero castings in general. Like, I think he's fantastic and just kind of underrated in general. Like we said, has he not been nominated for an Oscar yet?
Crazy.
But yeah, this show is great. Like, I think, especially for like a person, like whether you're like us, we're like, we're super hyped for Sam to get the shield in general and like love the comics and everything. But like, even not, like, even if you didn't know Sam became Cap. I think this is a great story.
Same.
Again, like it doesn't shy away from the more political things and the more social commentary and great effects. And it's just like really well acted, and like honestly, like there's like some scenes like during these watching like the first few episodes, I was like, dang, I kind of forgot how well lit and like just like the cinematography of the show is. Like they kind of really like how
Yeah.
it's shot, like a lot of like the scenes. But yeah, all that to say, I fucking love the show. As a nerd, as a black man, I think it does like a great job. I am like you. I am still hyped for Brave New World. Like no matter what the people say, they can't make me not hyped for a new Captain America movie led
Same.
by a black man.
Yep.
And yeah, I was gonna say something else. Oh, just like a fun tidbit I saw. Like the first episode is called New World Order, and it's funny that that was the original title
Oh yeah.
of the movie. But yeah, this is a great show. Even if all the Flag Smasher stuff doesn't work all the time, like I think.
Yeah, that's like the one thing.
Yeah, that's the only nitpicky thing I'd have. But like otherwise, I still enjoy the show and like what they do with it. I'm still waiting on a follow up on my boy Patriot. Is he going to be a champion?
We didn't mention that. I hope I hope that ends up being a thing.
I hope they don't forget about him. But yeah, I'm excited to see these characters return. Sharon Carter, Sam, Bucky, all of them. I love the work that they do in the show. And yeah, I think I'm right here with you, fan-fucking-tastic, man.
Oh,
like,
we even mentioned, man, fucking they got Elaine in here.
They like, did, yeah. We didn't even talk about
like
that.
Valentina joined. Like her joining the MCU is a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
like
this was her first appearance, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the anti Nick Fury, we got her in here.
Yeah, getting Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like that's a big that's a
fun
big
get.
Deal. Yeah. Like I think people. That's one thing Marvel's really great at doing. Like you getting these people, you're like, wait, what? They're in this now? Like,
yeah, it's like kind of unexpected. Somebody you wouldn't think to be in one of these.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was amazed, like when Robert Redford walked in the frame.
Oh hell yeah!
I was like, what
great.
the fuck? I was like, really? I was like, you're in this shit now? And yeah, when Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up, you're like, oh wow, that's okay. So she's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah.
And because she showed up in Wakanda Forever too, and it's like, oh shit, she's 64. She does not look
it at all. Holy crap.
Wow, good, goddamn, good for her. Yeah, she can still get it. Like, goddamn, good for her. But yeah, man, dude, hell yeah. The two fan-fucking-tastics. But yeah, I'm hyped for Brave New World. I don't care what anyone says. I'm hyped for the shit. It's gonna be fun to see him Cap fight a Hulk. Like that's just I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like,
they've been of course teasing that scene throughout the trailer. So like I'm always in general like as a comic fan seeing how like somebody who is not the Thing fight the Hulk. So
yeah,
like, I like when just a guy is fighting the Hulk.
Well, also too, we got like a glimpse of like kind of the stealth suit version where it's like more navy.
Yeah,
like,
a little more blue than white.
I like that. Like, so it looks like we're getting at least two different suits. Like the which I really like that. So I'm excited to see how the suits evolve.
I was gonna say it's a Marvel movie. By now we're gonna get at least two suits.
Oh yeah,
for the hero. Got to sell them toys.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta sell them toys. But yeah, two fan-fucking-tastics for Brave New World. Sorry, thinking ahead. For Falcon the Winter Soldier. I like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think I might. I haven't seen a film in D-Box before. That might be the first one.
Oh so
yeah. They just put in D-Box seats on one of the local theaters here. I'm like, you know what? We might D-Box it, so we'll I got some credits, so might do that. But yeah, y'all, two fan-fucking-tastics for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I think I was gonna do my best of tomorrow, but I'm gonna reconfirm with Canada because we were talking about it. So I will reconfirm people. So it might be tomorrow. I might push it till next week, but otherwise I will keep all updated on that on socials. As far as socials, find the show on Twitch at twitch.tv/therealpineapple. You can go ahead and listen to the podcast pretty much where you listen to them: SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, to name a few. You can find the show. Find me on what's the one? Oh my gosh, TikTok. There you go. TikTok.
There it is.
TikTok and Instagram at J Hunter Real Pineapple. That's J Hunter, then REEL, and then Pineapple. You can find me on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. I am way more active on there than I probably should be, but Letterboxd, but Letterboxd is a lot of fun. And then you can follow me on YouTube at The Real Pineapple, REEL Pineapple, and then find me on Blue Sky. That's another app I'm way too social on at the realpineapple.bsky.social. Brandon, where can they find you, sir?
Pretty much like you. The main social that I occupy on is Letterboxd, so you can find me on there at Brando, not Marlon. And yeah, I don't even know if people still go on Twitter.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. Getting on Blue Sky from Twitter has been so nice, man. Like, I'm not getting called the N-word on there. Like, like it's very nice.
Love it. So yeah, no, I'll just plug my Letterboxd. Who cares about Twitter? But yeah, that's where I'm at, and then I'll probably be back on this show to talk about something else that I love.
Yeah, we will talk. I'm gonna have you on for Invincible Fight Girl.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been itching just to talk about that show.
Yeah, I think I've got like 4 episodes left. I'll probably.
Oh yes. I'm excited for you.
So I think I'm just gonna start it over, honestly, and just watch it in a setting. I think I'm
of course, yeah, just get through it all.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as far as what's coming up, people, I'll have a review up in a week or two for Malcolm X. Gonna have my mom on to review that. I'm really excited to rewatch Malcolm X. It's been like 6 years since I've actually rewatched it, so it's been a minute. So I'm gonna rewatch that. Have a review up soon here for a Sing Sing. I'm really excited to talk about that. It's a great fucking movie. And then I will have my best of either tomorrow or next weekend. I will have it up. I'll have it up next week or two. I promise. But everyone, thank you so much for watching. Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I'm sure we'll play Rivals at some point. But,
yeah, I was gonna say, let me know when you play Rivals.
I'm probably gonna load a bowl and go play it right now. Awesome. to be honest, but you let me know when you want to play. But
okay.
But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I know the world's a lot right now, so please take some time for yourself. Do something good for yourself. We're gonna get through this together. And if you're processing, please be safe out there. But everyone, thank you so much. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much, y'all. And we will talk to you soon.